All right, folks, welcome back to the DevRev. I'm Charles Max Wood. I'm going to be talking to you really briefly about how to pick a podcast microphone. Now, I went off a few episodes ago and just went on this tangent for like 4 or 5 minutes on podcast mics. So let me just dive in and talk a little bit about podcast mics because I know I'm going to get asked. I had a friend actually from college. I almost said high school, not that long ago. College, which is almost that long ago. And he runs a blog empire for medical technology, right? So specifically like electronic medical records. I had to think of what EMR stood for. Electronic medical records and privacy and stuff like that. HIPAA here in the US. So he's got several blogs that he operates. They talk about the stuff. He runs a big conference for that stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that, right? And so he's talking to vendors. He's talking to medical professionals. He's talking to managers of like hospitals and stuff like that. And he asked me, he's like, I want to start a podcast. What mic do you recommend? Okay. So let me recommend a few mics. Okay. Now, when I travel, one of my favorite mics is this one, okay? Now you're like, Chuck, that's tiny. It's the Samson Go mic, and let me just show you. So you can see the little microphone bit right there, right? And so we'll go ahead and I have to open the clip and then slide it open. But you can see, right? It just comes like this, and then you can clip this clip right here onto the mic, onto the top of your laptop, okay? And then it's got some settings on the side. You can plug your headphones in. That's for the power. And then it's got a setting on the side it's got a circle and kind of an upside down heart. And the upside down heart is called the cardioid pattern. And cardioid, the reason they call it cardioid is cardioid is heart, basically, right? And so if you make a heart, with your hands, it's kind of a popular thing, except you don't make the little point with your thumbs, right? Okay. That's how the cardioid works. So if you put this over your mic like this is the pattern that your microphone will pick it up on. Okay. And so whatever direction the diaphragm, which is the part that catches the noise or the sound on your microphone, is facing, that's how it picks it up. So the direction it's facing, it picks stuff up. The stuff around it picks up, but whatever's behind it, so the diaphragm here points this way. So anything that is that direction behind it, and it's no accident that what's behind it is my kid's bedroom, right? It doesn't pick that up, okay? So you kind of get the idea. Now, the size of the cardioid pattern depends, right? Usually depends on the size of the diaphragm and how much sensitivity or how much movement it can have, okay? And so the more expensive mics tend to pick up really well within their range. And then if I move too far away from it, it won't. So if I stand back here and I'm talking, you can see that it drops off pretty fast, okay? But if I'm right up on top of it, then it picks it up pretty well. It sounds really good, okay? Now, this is, like I said, this is the Electro Voice RE20. I think I spent like $320 on it. You don't need a $300 microphone. Okay. I've been podcasting for 12 years. I had a Heil PR40 before that. For women, it's the Heil PR30 that you want because it picks up a little bit higher voice register better, right? That's the other thing is they all have different quality regarding what frequencies they pick up and how well they pick them up. And so it changes. You actually want to go try out microphones if you're going to shop around and get a really, really nice one. Try a bunch of them. Go make friends with people that have microphones. Go down to the music store and try them out and see what you get, right? But I had a bunch of friends that had these, tried it out. I thought I sounded terrific on it, and so I bought it, right? And I use it enough to where I feel like I'm, it's worth it. Another popular one's the Rode Podcaster. I have a couple of friends that do that. If you go listen to Entre Programmers, that's the mic that John Sonmez uses. And it sounds pretty good too, right? It's a nice, it doesn't cost like this. It's still like $150, $200, I think. but it's also a pretty darn decent mic. Audio Technica has a really good one. I used to recommend the ATR 2100, but like I said in the last video that I talked about this, they don't make that anymore. And so they've got a bunch of other ones that they do. The Audio Technica 2100 cost about $100, and I think the Audio Technica 2100X, I think that costs like 120, right? So now we're kind of getting toward the range. The Samson Go mic's like $50. So you can get one. A lot of the gaming microphones on like headsets are decent, and so if you're just starting out and you just want okay sound, decent sound, do that. Ultimately, the things that you want to avoid are, and I'll just kind of throw these in there for you. One is, so the microphones, like the onboard microphones for the iPhone, tend to be okay, but they're easily damaged, and so you can't guarantee the phone quality on them, especially if you've like dropped your phone and stuff, right? It may or may not have damaged the microphone, so just be aware of that. Your onboard microphone on your computer is awful. I mean, just don't, okay? If you're going to do it on a computer, buy a USB microphone, make it work, okay? There are a bunch of great ones. It'll work fine. My headphones, like I've got these headphones. These are not cheap headphones either. These Sony MDX, what are these? 2100 or something. They're not cheap, but they have a decent mic in them, okay? So you can get away with that. But yeah, you know, whatever microphone you decide to use, just make sure that it's decent. I have my AirPods right here. These mics are okay. The only downside to them is that they're Bluetooth, and so sometimes there's a little bit of delay. Not bad, but it does happen sometimes. So just be aware of that. I mean, those are the mic recommendations I have. Again, a lot of the Blue microphones, Blue Snowball and Blue Yeti, are popular. I don't really like them. I just don't. I don't think they sound as good. And to be honest, you can get a much better mic for the same dollar. And so, you know, go look at the Audio Technicas. Samson puts out great mics. Go check those out. The Blue microphones, I'm sorry, I'm just not a huge fan. So yeah, so go check out those other mics. But yeah, if you're going to start out, and you can't afford even like the $50 mic or the $30 headset, then just use the microphone on your phone and just go for it. Just do it. Because ultimately what I found is that as long as your audio quality isn't bad, right? So as long as there's not a lot of noise, you don't sound like you're all tinny over the telephone. And the reason you're tinny over the telephone is that your phone, even your cell phone, it compresses the sound to the point where you sound tinny. Okay. So if you're recording local onto your phone, you're going to be fine. Okay. Because it doesn't compress the sound as much. And so just record it onto your phone, pull the audio files off, clean them up, and you're off to the races. Okay. But yeah, just start, and then listen to it. And yeah, if you sound, staticky, or there's a bunch of noise, or there's a hum or something like that, then you need to find a different mic or find a different recording device. Another device that I really like for recording is the Zoom H6. I know that Zoom has come out with other portable recorders since then. I haven't tried them, so I'm not going to recommend them because I don't know, but the Zoom H6 is terrific too. So that's pretty much all I've got here for microphones. I'll put a list of these in the notes on YouTube and on the website, and then you can just go kind of pick and choose the ones that you want. And like I said, I guess the other one that I didn't really talk deeply about that I've had is, like I said, the Heil PR40. It kind of picks up the lower notes in your voice register and makes you sound better. I don't know how else to describe it. But that works really well for men. It kind of distorts women's voices a little bit. They actually came out with the Heil PR30, which, you know, highlights different notes for higher register voices so that you don't sound weird because they're promoting the wrong frequencies for your voice. So you can go check those out too. Those are also really, really nice mics. They are a little bit kind of on the higher end of pricing. So anyway, there you go. Go check that out. And till next time, max out, folks.